All right, so let's talk about this because I know it's really popular to bash the oil companies right now, to say that they are the ones who are gouging consumers, and it matters because so many consumers see the prices at the pump, they feel it immediately in their wallets, and they're mad. They want somebody to blame for this. Is it the oil company CEO's fault?
I don't think so, actually.
I don't either.
No huge fan. I don't no huge fan of oil as our main energy source. But the fact is, this industry has been through a decade of wild swings in the price of oil. We are price takers. We are not price makers. There is a cartel out there called OPEC that is the price maker, and it's the price maker because it has two large producers, OPEC plus Russia, that have a huge amount of spare and cheap capacity, so they can manipulate the price. And so if you actually look, we don't have a single company that can turn it on and off like these countries do. So basically, the American oil industry has been whipsawed over the last decade, and a lot of people went bust, basically, because there was no stable, predictable price. And right now, they and their shareholders want to take advantage of the high price, basically, to pad their profits, obviously. But what we really need, Becky, would be an oil import tax that would basically set the price of oil in America at a price that would be stable and predictable for American oil producers to make a profit, to consistently drill, something like in the $50, $60 range. And if it ever fell below that, you tax it up. That's what we need to have a stable supply of reasonable price oil.
We're talking price controls? This was not what I expected to hear from you, Tom. Explain this theory. Because price controls, you take me back to the 70s and you worry me a little bit with what we've seen before. Controls.
It's saying that we're going to have a stable, predictable price if you want to import oil in this country, import oil to this country, that will ensure our producers that if they want to pump oil, they're going to make a profit and not be whipsawed.
But they're not going to be able to charge over that either. I mean, the setting of a floor, the whole thing is just so.
I'm talking about a floor price.
Okay, but that's going to. I don't see that flying in Washington because they're really mad right now that the prices have gone up. I didn't see them complaining when prices went negative.
Sure, but unless you have a stable, predictable price, we're going to go through, as we have been for how many years now, these kind of wild swings. Yeah. And these companies. That's now how many people went bust in the oil patch in the last 10 years.
Right. I mean, this is a big problem. I think the bigger problem may be these wild swings in policy that come out of Washington, depending on who's in charge for 4 years at a time or 2 years at a time if you're watching the Senate or the House. These wild swings in terms of what we're promoting, what we're saying you should be doing. I mean, you have some of the very same Democrats who are yelling at them, saying that they're gouging and that they are stealing from the consumer, who were the ones who were telling them less than a year ago in these same sort of hearings that, by the way, we don't want to see you drilling anymore. You're drilling too much. Why can't you be more like the Europeans who have said that they will only drill so much and only bring so much oil out? I mean, that to me is the bigger whipsaw, not the price changes, because these companies can weather it for the most part if they're looking at shifts. They know oil prices come up and they know they go down. But the idea of not being able to figure out which way you're going to get slapped from the regulators in Washington, from the policymakers, that's a bigger deal, because if you're going to invest in these projects, it takes years and it takes billions of dollars. And nobody wants to put billions of dollars of capital at risk if you find out that you're going to be told you can't use any of it a year or two from now.
Yeah, well, you can get a stable, predictable price with policy, and you can get it through a floor price. But right now, we don't have a stable, predictable price, and we will never be able to pump enough oil to be price makers. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.